We are glad you guys are here with us. We are on part 2 of Canva. Hopefully you were able to watch the recording. If you had the recording for session 1 or skills 1, I will get all of the bit.lys and slides for you guys in a little bit. We'll put them into chat. Before we get started, just a little information again. We are part of the digital learning team in ILE. My name is Tina Lanou, and I have Jennifer here with me. We are so excited to be able to give you guys the support with Canva. And Amy, we are so grateful and glad you are here to help us as we are navigating Canva together. And we are excited to see what you're going to be doing with us today. Just a reminder, we are recording this. It will get sent out later on this week, so you guys will be able to have that to watch if you need a little refresher later on. And then again, I will put this into the chat for you guys, but we do have the Q&A document that we will be looking at and using for this. So rusd.info/Canva Q&A, no capitals. And I am going to pass us over to Amy. I'm going to stop sharing and you are going to take it away.
Thank you so much, Tina and Jennifer. Let's go ahead. And go on into present mode. So really grateful to the Riverside USD team for setting up today's session. After our last session, appreciate you all so much for creating this webinar. And I really hope it goes a little bit more smoothly than the last time I saw you all virtually. So today's session is going to 100% be focused within the Canva editor. If you didn't get a chance to watch the last session yet, don't worry, no stress. It's going over kind of like the basics of getting started in Canva and how to actually get into the editor. But essentially, I'm going to be setting you all up and we're all going to hop into the editor together. And I'll kind of be walking through what we're going to do in our session. But just kind of wanted to give you that preview. If you haven't had a chance to watch the recap yet, please don't stress. I promise you'll be able to go back to it and you'll still be able to fully participate in tonight's session. And I am just so grateful again to be here. My name is Amy. I am your district's Canva learning consultant. And I just like putting in fun facts. So this one is my favorite school supply is a new pack of felt tip pens. That is my go-to. I know there's like a big divide between ballpoint, felt tip pens, and even now these like Sharpie fine points are really kind of like into my felt tip pen situation here, but just like to kind of show you all that I'm a real human on the other side of the screen, and I'm also authentically obsessed with Canva. Here is our kind of overview of our session. I'm super quickly going to be reviewing Canva for Education. The reason I'm doing this is, again, I know some folks perhaps weren't at the last session or maybe didn't catch the recording yet. So please bear with me for a little bit as we kind of do a quick overview. And then essentially the entire rest of the time, we will be designing in Canva. I'll be showing you editor tips and tricks, and then you'll have time to play after I kind of demo those things for you. We'll wrap up with some Q&A at the end, as well as utilizing that Q&A kind of like Google Sheet to kind of drive any questions. So thank you to Tina and Jennifer for being here to help with the Q&A as well. So brief overview of Canva. Y'all, you dream it, you can make it in Canva, one-stop shop for engaging visual communications. This can be with students, families, or your colleagues. In Canva, we have an entire visual suite right at your fingertips for you to be able to create. So today we're going to be in the Canva editor the entire time playing and creating, so that when you try these different Canva doc types, anything from a Canva whiteboard to a Canva presentation, social media assets, you're going to feel confident in terms of your editing and customizing abilities in Canva. Canva for Education is 100% free because here at Canva, we truly believe that education is a human right. And therefore, we really want to empower everyone to create, collaborate, and communicate in the classroom and beyond. We have truly worked with folks across the globe in terms of Canva for Education trainings, as well as school communities using Canva. And when students are creating and iterating and in that design thinking process, they are practicing skills that are going to stay with them beyond their K-12 learning journey. So when it comes to the ISTE standards, these are the four main categories that Canva as a platform tries to our best to support. So encouraging our students to become creative communicators, global collaborators, empowering the learning process, as well as encouraging students to become innovative and iterative designers. So that is a bit about the Canva platform. Y'all, with Canva, truly anything is possible. Today, we are going to be diving into Canva. So if everybody could take a minute to log in. Again, if you could take a minute to log in, so you might have to toggle away from the Zoom webinar, open up a new tab in your preferred web browser. The really awesome thing about Canva is there's multiple ways to access the Canva platform. You can always go to canva.com, that's canva.com. And in the top right, you'll just hit the gray login button. When this screen pops up, you can say continue with email and then use your district email address. So I know we have put a whole lot of kind of hyperlinks into the Zoom chat right now. I'm going to add one more to the queue. This is what we call in Canva a template link. So essentially, you all are going to get an exact copy of the design that I've made for you. So you're going to be able to click the template link that just popped up in the Zoom chat. Hopefully, when you click that, you're going to get a new tab that opens in your web browser, whatever you have open, and it's going to say, hey, Amy created this, and I'm Amy, so you feel good about clicking it. And then depending on your screen resolution, y'all, you may have to scroll down if you're zoomed in really closely in your screen. If you don't see a purple button at the bottom that says use this template for a new design, you're going to want to scroll down on that screen, that tab that pops up, and then you'll click it, and you're going to pop into the Canva editor. Okay, so one more time, you're going to click the template link in the Zoom chat. A new tab is going to pop open saying Amy created this. You are going to say, yes, I would like my own copy. Yours is going to be a purple button that says use this template for new design. Mine looks just a little bit different since I made the template. But you, again, are going to click use this template for a new design. It's going to be purple on your screen. And then because you've already logged in, Canva should just automatically kind of pop you into the Canva editor. And we should all kind of be seeing the same thing. Now, again, this session is a lot of I do, you do. So if you're able to split your screen now to have the Zoom webinar window on one half of your screen, and then the web browser tab where you have your own copy of the exact same thing I'm working in on your side of the screen, that's going to make it kind of easier to see what I'm demoing and kind of doing, and then you'll still be able to play. If you don't like that setup, again, remember this time is kind of like a choose your own adventure. You do what works for you. If you just want to watch me on the Zoom webinar first and then kind of toggle over to yours, you can do that too. So please, if you need a moment to set up your tech, please go ahead and do that. All right. So from here, once we're in the Canva editor, I just want to take a really quick tour around the Canva editor. So if you were with us last time, essentially there's two views in Canva. Our Canva homepage, which really quickly I'm just going to show you, is always a white background. The second view in Canva is what we call the Canva editor. It does not have a white background. It essentially has kind of like this teal, blue, and purple ombre colored header across the top. Then it has a left-hand sidebar with different tabs that are black. And then across the bottom, you're going to see the footer down here. So I just want to take you on a quick tour of all of that. And then we're going to be going in to the different editing tabs. So I did just put the template link into the Zoom chat again. I know somebody just put that up in the Q&A, so hopefully you're able to grab that. All right. When you're in the Canva editor, please, the first thing I would do is click up in the header where you kind of see this rectangle next to kind of the people who are in the design. And I would rename this something that's meaningful to you. Remember, if you don't rename all of these different templates that you open in Canva, in the future, when you go to look for it, it could be somebody else's random name that has no meaning to you. So if copy of Canva Design Skills for Educators ES2 Let's Try in today's date means nothing to you, just go ahead, click in there, delete it out, and just say Canva experiment deck. I do like to put in the date. That's just like one of my things, so that I can try to potentially find things in the future when I'm looking for them. I've been hearing from a lot of attendees recently that they're like, Amy, I don't see this rectangle at the top of the bar to rename this in the top of the header. If that's the case, just go to the File tab, and you should be able to just click at the top of the File tab in that drop-down menu and rename the file there as well. So you'll find in Canva there's lots of different ways to kind of the same destination. You'll see on the far right-hand side of the Canva header in the editor, this button here is with the, the vertical bar graph is your design insights. So once you share this out with folks, you can click on that and see how many folks have clicked on it or viewed it. So that's a cool way to kind of check in on that. This is also where you can go up into Canva's present mode. So you can take these slides. So this goes from being able to edit them in the Canva editor. When I hit present, I can present full screen. And now that's going to zoom in and present my slides. So you can do that as well. Feel free to play along as I am kind of playing along here. And then in the share drop-down menu, that's where you're going to be able to share out. And we'll talk about all of this at the end. I just kind of want to give you all the lay of the land in terms of what all these different tabs do. You'll see again on the header toolbar towards the left now, this kind of cloud with this check. That's telling me that Canva's saving automatically as I go. Remember, you can always undo whatever you may have done in Canva by hitting this undo arrow. We'll go over magic switch at the end, but I just want to show you all two more things in the file drop-down menu. This is where you can access the view settings. So if you like these rulers that I have on my Canva editor, you can access those by going to File, View Settings, where you see this cog wheel, and then click Show Rulers and Guides. The other thing I want to show you all that's also in this View Settings menu is at the very bottom, we now have a built-in design accessibility checker. So again, let me walk through that. From the Canva editor, you select File, View Settings, and then Canva Design Accessibility. Canva is going to go through your entire design, check out your font as well as your color contrast and alt text. You can see here, I have some major issues I need to resolve when it comes to color contrast as well as alt text. I wouldn't necessarily do this at the beginning of a design project. I would maybe wait until the end. But I just wanted to show you all where it lives underneath the file tab as we're kind of taking this tour. Remember, Canva saves everything as you go. So even if you ever hit this home button by accident instead of file, which I do all of the time, no stress. You'll just go to your Canva homepage. And then when you scroll down, you're going to see whatever you were just working on right in the top left of your recent designs. And you'll just pop it right back open in the Canva editor. Okay, these left-hand editing tabs, we're going to be going over in a second. Before we move on to those, I just want to go over the footer really quickly. So in any Canva doc type, right now we're in a presentation, but this goes for anything. It could be posters, brochures, whatever you're creating or having students create. They can always select this notes button in the bottom left, and a little hidden notes bar will pop open where they can add in maybe bullet point notes so they don't forget when they're presenting or whatever that may be. There's also a duration button where you can turn any slideshow into a video. So again, super easy to kind of switch back and forth between video and slides in Canva. I can just click it again and it will go back to slides mode. I forgot to tell you, just hit the notes button again if you're following along with me, and that will kind of collapse the notes. The other thing I want to show you all is that there's an embedded timer here in the Canva editor. So I want to empower you to empower your students to play around with a timer. Give them 10 minutes to work on a particular design or a page or whatever it may be, and have them be responsible for starting the timer. It's not always your job to start the timer and project it, but allow students to maybe dabble with what it's like to kind of take ownership of that for themselves. So I really love that there's now a timer when you're editing. Last thing, on the right-hand side of the footer, you're going to see here this zoom toggle bar is going to allow you to zoom in and out within the Canva editor. You can also hit this grid view button, which is going to zoom out of whatever you've created. Again, these are slides, pages, but it could be, you could potentially have 200 posters or whatever it may be. You could really easily pick up and kind of change the order or drag things around. Remember, you can always change by hitting that back arrow. And then when you're ready to zoom back in, just double click and it will zoom back in for you. Last thing, on the very bottom right, when you're in the Canva editor, you're going to see this circle with a question mark inside of it. We just launched a kind of like newer interactive AI-powered kind of search here. So if you're looking for help while you're designing, I really encourage you to kind of check out that Canva assistant. Again, it's in the very bottom right of your footer with the question mark and circle around it. So that's a tour of the Canva editor. Now we're essentially going to spend the rest of our time together going over all of the different left-hand sidebar tabs here where you can begin to edit your Canva creations. I see a question in the chat and I'm not sure I'm understanding the question. What are the blue dots? Tina and Jennifer, not to put you on the spot. Oh, okay. I was going to say, do y'all have any, are you talking about maybe the blue dots? There are sometimes blue dots in this cloud here if Canva is still trying to connect to your internet connection. If you see those blue dots, it might not be saving. So you might want to wait. Think of it as kind of like it's on red, like they're typing here. Once you have the check mark showing up in the cloud, that means that all your changes are saved in Canva. I hope I'm answering the question. I think it's your mouse when it's clicking. Interesting. Oh, I know what it is. Okay, this is coming back to me now. It was when I was in the design checker. So I went file, view settings, check design accessibility. And anywhere there's an issue, that's where the blue dot is going to show up. I'm so sorry it took me so long to kind of put that together. Yes, when you were, yep, y'all rock. Okay, better together. So for instance, I could click on this blue dot and I could say, oh, it's telling me there's no alt text. So I could say add alt text. I could now have Canva suggest alt text for me. It says the logo for Canva for Education. Boom, I'll hit save. And now that blue dot kind of goes away. I apologize, y'all. Thank you for your patience as I worked through that question. Okay. So if you're following along with me on your copy of your slide deck, so again, you're in your tab of your web browser, you're not looking at the Zoom webinar, but you're gonna click on slide number 5, okay? We're gonna start in the Elements tab on our left-hand sidebar here. And essentially there's 10 different categories of elements. So I want to take you through a few of them so you have some time to play and create, experiment, explore, all of that stuff. Remember, this is your time to make mistakes, hit buttons, try things, see what happens. Nobody's going to see what you're creating. This is only time for you to get wild, clicking all the buttons. Remember, you can always hit back if you don't like what's happening on your screen. If you're like, Amy, I'm super advanced, that's great. I'm still glad you're here. You can literally on each one of these pages go and I have the directions here. But if you want to stay with me, essentially, I'm going to go through these directions and demo it and then give you time to play. So again, choose your own adventure. We're all here to learn. I know everybody goes about that differently and different things work for them. So if you want to just do your own thing, follow directions on the left and then experiment on the right-hand side of each of your page. So we're going to go into the graphics category first in Canva. So first to access that, you're going to select the Elements tab. So this is left-hand sidebar, second one down, Elements. To get into the graphic category of all the graphics, so think designs, illustrated elements, emojis, all that cool stuff, you're going to just put your cursor at the top here where you see this magnifying search glass. And then as you scroll down, you're going to see the graphics category with this orange slice, and you'll be able to select it. Now, at the top, there's going to be a search bar. You can also see some things maybe that I was searching for, recently used, or magic recommendations. But y'all, search for anything. So think of a upcoming unit you have. Think of something you want to plan for your students. And like, okay, what would I want to add to this design? Am I looking for a snowflake? Am I looking for a snow-covered evergreen tree? Am I looking for mittens? Like, what are you looking for? Literally type anything in. I've never searched for mittens before, so let's just go with it. And now I've got some graphics of different mittens here. Since this is a little bit more advanced, I do want to show you all a few things. This goes for any element that you're searching for, graphics, photos, videos. In the top right corner of any of them, you're going to see, these 3 horizontal dots. When you select that, you're going to have like a hidden menu that pops up for this particular element that you're searching for. You could see more by that particular creator. You could kind of click on some of these keywords. You could also say see more like this. So if you like a particular one, rather than just like scrolling forever and ever, I could say see more like this. And then maybe that's going to be closer to what I'm looking for. The last thing I want to show you all is in the real bottom part of this drop-down menu, when you hit those 3 dots in the top right corner, this is where you can report any element that you think is inappropriate to be in the Canva for Education library. So keep in mind, Canva for Education literally adds like hundreds of elements on a weekly basis. So our product team goes through everything that educators have flagged as inappropriate on a weekly basis and removes things. But if you all don't know how to do that, then they can't kind of take your recommendations into account. So again, hover over anything you're searching for, top right corner, that's where you get all of this drop down goodness. Last thing I want to show you is you can also add this to a folder. So say you're doing a story on, oh my goodness, I can't think of the title of the book, The Lost Mitten. I hope some elementary educators out there can help me with this because I can't remember the title. But if I was going to do maybe like a week or two on that whole read aloud, I might add my favorite mittens to a folder with all of the resources that I'm creating for that. So then in the future, I can just go to the projects folder, find that read aloud lesson folder and be able to bring that in. So I know I've shown you all a lot, just want to show you a few more things. When you bring in anything to Canva, all I did was click on it. Canva automatically brings it into my design. I can make this graphic bigger or smaller by playing around, by grabbing one of the corners and kind of moving it in and out. Unfortunately, you can't tell what graphics you can change the colors of until it's kind of in Canva. So these particular purple mittens across this kind of like subheader toolbar here, I don't have a hex code color box that's popping up for me to change these mitten colors. So unfortunately, I can't change these, but some graphics you can. So I'll try to find one in a second. The other thing I want you to see is that you could potentially flip this. As well as use this kind of like circle button with these two arrows that pops up. Sometimes it's on the side of the element, sometimes it's below it. But what you can do, think of that as like a pivot point, and you're able to select that circle and then pivot that particular element from there. Let me see if I can find a pair of mittens where I can change the color. Sometimes it's like a little bit of a guess and check. Nope, not that one. I'll just hit the back arrow. Maybe these. Yay. Okay, so these particular mittens, I know I can change the colors because when I input them in this subheader kind of toolbar here, I can click these hex code color boxes. I can select any hex code color. So maybe I want some red mittens, red and green mittens, and white. So I would just click on the individual hex code color boxes and then select a new color. If you don't see the color that you're looking for, come up to the top left where you see this kind of this like add a new color with the rainbow background. You can play around on the whole color spectrum of Roy G. Biv by moving this toggle bar around here. And then in the upper rectangle, you can move this one around and it does update in real time over here. You could type in your own hex code color or even use this color picker to kind of hover over any color. So maybe if I wanted it to match, this is weird, it's not picking up the purple. Huh, interesting. So I think the color picker is being a little odd, but again, just want to give you time. Oh, something else I love searching for in graphics is 3D. So whatever you're looking for, and then add 3D to the end of it. So mittens 3D. Ooh, cool. And now I have like a gingerbread mitten. Or this more of like 3D like mitten that looks more like clay or something. The other really fun thing is we do have graphics, really cool graphic letters. So I could do, what was I looking for? Ice letters. So if I wanted to spell out like welcome or see you soon or whatever that may be, I could just search for different types of letters. When you hover over the top right corner, usually for letters and numbers, you can say view collection, and then you can have all the letters in here. Now, this is not like a font, so this is like one by one, you have to add those letters in. So I would not suggest doing this for a body of text, but maybe for a fun title on a particular page. Just want to show you a few things when it comes to editing photos, and then you'll have time to play as well. Remember, you can play throughout. if you want to split your screen and kind of follow along as I'm creating as well. So we're going to go back to the Elements tab. So just click it again. You might have to clear out the search bar and then put your cursor into the search bar and scroll down and select, excuse me, photos. So from here, I'm going to search for mittens again, and now we have really different photos of mittens. Some of these photos don't have backgrounds already. Some of them do have backgrounds. Some of them are kind of in a scene. Some of them are doing things, I mean, all kinds of mitten photo options. Remember, you do not need to search for mittens. This is just my quick demo here. So for this particular one, maybe I want to select these mittens. All right, so all I did again was select it. Canva will bring it into my design. I can make it bigger or smaller. I could potentially flip this. Remember, I could pivot point this. So all of the same things apply, but I just want to show you a few more photo editing tricks. So you're going to click on your photo and highlight it. And you'll know it's highlighted because you're going to see kind of this color pop up around the edge of the photo. And then on the subheader toolbar, you're going to go on the left-hand side where it says Edit Photo. Now give it a second. It might take a minute to come up. My favorite kind of photo editing tool in Canva that I became obsessed with was Background Remover. So it's titled BG Remover. It's the button with the beach ball on it. You'll click it and Canva will remove that background in a couple of seconds. Now, if it's a more complicated picture, it may take a little bit longer, so please be patient. But that was pretty quick to kind of remove that white background of these mittens. So from here, I could also potentially add a filter. You can click See All to see all of the different filter types. So maybe I wanted to turn these more into like a vintagey looking like photograph. You can also take any color photo and turn it monochromatic or black and white, as well as we have like color pop, so think pop art, where you could potentially have students kind of turn their photos or photos from the Canva element library into some fun pop art. Other thing I want to show you is in the photo editing sidebar that has appeared when you hit that edit photo button. In the middle, you're going to see the adjust option. So you can adjust the temperature as well as light, highlight, shadows, color, texture, if you want to bring up the sharpness or the clarity. So just wanted to show you all that there's tons of ways to kind of edit photos. Lastly, on the far right-hand side of this photo editing sidebar is where you can begin to crop. If you're looking to kind of crop your design or photo, you can just hit done from there. Let me do this photo here. The other thing with photos that I just want to show you all is that you can take any photo and turn it into a background. So again, this does not just have to be a background on slides. Maybe it's the background of your newsletter and it's like a class photo or whatever it may be. You can either right click if you are using a mouse, and you'll get this menu that appears and you can hit this replace background button. If you're not using a mouse, you can hit select any photo and have it highlighted. Select the 3 horizontal dots that pop up in that floating toolbar. If you're zoomed in too much, you're not going to see this. So you're not going to see the bottom of this like drop down menu. So sometimes I actually have to zoom out a little bit to see the replace background button at the very bottom. Now, the cool thing is that now I have this kind of mitten scene as my background here, but now it's really hard to read the text. So one more button I want to show you when kind of creating and editing in Canva is our transparency button. Think of the transparency button as the checkered flag. You can select that button bring the transparency down. So now we have that element of kind of like layering that photo on the background, but it is not so vibrant and students can easily still read the text there. So again, search for any photo that you may be using in the future in a new unit, whatever it may be. Play around with bringing that photo in, selecting and highlighting it, then going up to edit photo and playing around with all of the different ways that you can edit these photos. So the transparency button, you have to have some element highlighted. So you need to click on an element, and then you'll see the transparency button kind of towards the right-hand side of this subheader. Again, depending on your screen resolution, you might see like 3 horizontal dots at the far right-hand side over here. You might need to click that to kind of see these last 3 editing options. I know my screen is much wider, so I don't have that, but if you have like a laptop and you're pretty zoomed in, you might only see a button with 3 dots. Then when you select it, you should be able to see the transparency checkered flag button. Great question. All right, y'all, next up, we're gonna move to page number 7, where we're just gonna take a really quick intro to videos. So we could literally spend an entire hour on videos, editing videos, creating videos, all of that sort of stuff. I just want you to have some time to see even what's in Canva in terms of the videos that we have that are pre-made that you can literally drag and drop into your creations to help support student learning. So again, you're going to click on the Elements tab on the left-hand sidebar, put your cursor in the search bar at the top, and then you're going to be really great at dancing, and then you'll be able to find anything that you're looking for. So challenge Canva. If you have an upcoming social studies unit, maybe throw a video, search for something you might need a video on. If you have an upcoming lab experiment or whatever you may be doing, go ahead and type that in. I know mine's not like super, I'm hoping there's some good, oh, fun. Okay, so I have some fun mitten videos here. What I love is you can hover your cursor over the video before you commit to anything, and Canva's gonna kind of play it for you in that little preview here. So I can kind of see the difference. Ooh, that's making a snowball. Maybe I wanna, this one's putting their mittens on, so maybe I want more of that. And from here, remember, just like a Canva photo or video, just like a Canva photo, editing a photo in Canva. Oh my goodness, y'all, I apologize. You can put any video into your Canva creation. Just click on it once you kind of preview it and like it. Canva will input it into your design. You can make it smaller. And once you click on it to highlight it, you get this edit video button. We now have background remover in video, as well as the ability to put a filter on your video. But I want to show you some of these kind of tools up here. You can snip any video clip. So right now, this picture of somebody clapping in mittens is 5.3 seconds. But maybe I only want 2 seconds to be played in my creation. So I can bring it down to 2 seconds, but then I can pick this up and move which 2 seconds I would like to actually be played. So then I'll click done when I'm ready. After you kind of clip or snip with the scissors, you can click this playback button. You could potentially speed up the video or slow it down if students maybe need it faster or slower. And you can click this button, play on repeat, which will just continuously kind of loop that video in your design. And then same thing, you could also make this video a background and potentially play around with transparency. You could potentially flip this video. So if you had a video and you wanted it going the other way. And some videos do have audio, some do not. So recently somebody told me that you can if you want something with audio, you could say mittens and then add sound with sound. And that might be able to find it in the element search, but this particular video doesn't have any sound. You can also import your own video and then also clip the audio as well. I'm also going to show you how you can record yourself in Canva in a second. So there's lots of things to show you, lots of ways to edit. Again, this is just a very basic kind of like overview into Canva videos that exist in our element library, where again, everything's 100% free, and then you can just search and drag and drop and kind of add those videos to support student learning and understanding. All right, so if y'all can find a good stopping place with your editing and experimenting with Canva videos, we are gonna move kind of quickly. For the sake of time, I'm not gonna be able to go over literally everything in the Canva editor, but remember, each page has directions here, so if you do kind of wanna do some self-guided learning, please feel free to come back to this. So we do have a whole category of lines and shapes you can use when you're creating in Canva. I do want to show you all frames really quickly. So if you want to click the Elements tab, put your cursor in the search bar, and then go down to frames. It's kind of like the royal purple colored category. And a frame in Canva Speak is going to crop a photo or a video into a particular shape, which is super cool. So you can see we have basic shapes. We also have like old school film and photos to make something look like a Polaroid. We also have blobs or retro, and we have letter frames. So you can also search in frames. So say you wanted students to make something and spell out their name. So for me, I would begin with an A. I would find that A frame. So all I did was type in the letter A when I'm in the frames category. I can go back to my elements, and maybe I'm obsessed with my brand new mittens I got. So I'm going to drop a picture of blue mittens into letter A. When I first started designing in Canva, I thought however Canva cropped a photo or a video into a frame meant that that's how it had to stay. But I learned you can double click, and maybe I kind of want to move this over, or I could even drag this if I wanted to kind of show a little bit more of the mitten. Remember, you can always hit back, play, experiment, move things around, do things. And if you don't like it, no big deal in Canva. I just think frames are so cool, especially when you're looking to engage with your students. I'm obsessed with the Polaroid frames. And let me bring in maybe my favorite animal. And I'll just find a quick photo here. So again, the way that when I brought this photo of this sea lion into the frame, it cuts off the face of my sea lion. So I could double click, kind of pull the corners out if I want to enlarge it a little bit, and then move it up to maneuver, click out again. And now I have like a better frame of that particular photo. Again, you can do the same thing for videos within a frame, but I just want to give you all a minute to play, and then we'll come back together. So again, click on Elements, go to the Frames category, and then practice bringing in photos and videos. Frames do not work with graphics. So you'll just pick the frame once you have the frame. Here, let me detach this. You can go back to the Elements tab and just pick a recent photo you've used, or even search for anything like I did sea lion. You can also just hit Photos, select any of these, and then when you kind of pick up the photo, you have to hover it over the frame, and then you'll kind of see it snap into place, and then let go, and that's how you know Canva has kind of like accepted it into that frame. Double click, and you can kind of maneuver and reposition it in the frame. So I see a question in the chat. If the picture is zoomed in and cut off a part of it, how can I fix that? Well, it depends. If you were the one who zoomed in on it, just hit the back arrow across the top of your Canva toolbar. If not, if it's already too zoomed in for you to use, you might have to select another picture So that you can't make it smaller. You can only zoom it out when you're looking to kind of maneuver things and edit things within the frame. So good question. All right, y'all. So again, we're going to kind of skip over these other categories. We do have grids to divide up space when you're creating in Canva. You can create custom charts with data. You can create a table in Canva as well. The only other thing I want to show you all before we move on to recording ourselves is when you are playing around with multiple elements on your page. So right now I have the A frame as well as this Polaroid frame. Maybe I want the A frame on top of that Polaroid frame. In Canva, we call those layers. So again, multiple routes to the same destination. You could right click on a particular element and go to layer, or you could click on the element, go up to those 3 horizontal dots in the floating toolbar and go to layer and then show layers. So we now have this on the left-hand side that's going to pop open where you can literally pick up, drag and drop. And now this A-frame is on top of that Polaroid frame. So you can see from bottom is the background all the way to the top, the different layers here that you can move and maneuver around. All right, y'all, I just want to go, whoops, let me close out of that. I want to go into uploads really quickly and show you all one of my favorite things. So obviously in the uploads tab, so we were in elements, but for the sake of time, I'm kind of skipping a few things down and we're going to uploads. This is where you can upload files directly from your device, or on the right-hand side, select those 3 horizontal dots. And upload from your Google Drive, Google Photos, Dropbox, wherever you may have your photos stored. But this is also where you can record yourself. So let me turn off my Zoom camera really quickly and hope that in light of what happened last time, we don't have a computer freak out. Okay, so I have two screens here. So sorry, I'm looking over to the side. When you come into the recording studio, you can choose camera. You can record your camera and screen in Canva or just your screen. For the sake of the demo, I'm just going to do this camera really quickly. So I'm going to hit record. Canva's going to give me a countdown. Let me scroll on the bottom. So right here, I'm in the uploads tab. Hi students, welcome to your next section on uploads. On this page, I want you to practice recording yourself. Go to the Uploads tab on the left-hand sidebar, select the gray button, Record Yourself, and after you exit, play around, change your filters, and just have fun playing and creating. Hi students, welcome to, okay, so a few things here. Canva's automatically going to take whatever I recorded and they're going to live forever in my video upload. So even if I decide not to use them in this particular instance, in the future, I may want to reuse them. So you're going to find them here. I could make this video smaller. I could pick this video up and move it around. If I wasn't quote unquote camera ready, I could also kind of bring the transparency down of this and I would still have the audio. Okay, I think I am sharing my audio. To your next section. So the audio file is going to be there, but you don't have to necessarily like show your students you were recording in your kitchen at 2 a.m. or whatever you're doing. The other thing I want to show you is that every video you now record in Canva, you can select the 3 horizontal dots or right click on it and you can show captions. Now it does take a couple of seconds to kind of show up. But from here, hi students, welcome. It's still taking a minute to load. I also wanted to show you that I was in the recording studio and all I did was click on another slide and Canva snipped that video for me. On this page, I want you to practice. So I didn't have to stop a recording, get out of the recording studio, and then go back into the recording studio. I just clicked on a different page and Canva's going to snip that recording for you and embed it on the page wherever you clicked on it. One last really cool thing. Let's see if these captions have finally loaded.
Hi students, welcome to your next section.
You now, since you know about frames, this is in a circle frame here, so you can detach any photo or video from a frame. Again, you would right click or select these 3 horizontal dots. I can detach this video, delete this circle frame. You can see here clearly I'm in my room. I have no green screen. I'm not trying to kind of pull a fast one over you all. But you can select this video, again, any video you or students upload or a video from the Canva element library, you can now have background remover. So say you are starting a new unit on like ecosystems and you wanted to welcome your students from the jungle or whatever the first ecosystem you were kind of exploring. You could record the video. You do not have to be in a jungle. Just remove the background and then take a jungle picture and make that the background of your page, since you all know how to do that now. Again, even when you remove the background, oops, I put that into that frame. Oh goodness, I'm just moving all the things around here. You can still, even when you remove the background, you can still have it show your captions, but you might have to hit it again. So I know we are very close to the end of time here. I do just want to mention you and students can always use our draw feature. So again, left-hand sidebar, hit draw, select your writing utensil color as well as the settings here. And then you can draw or ink on any Canva creation. You can also access all of your projects. That's why you want to rename things so you can find them in the future. From your projects tab, you could just find a slide or a page from something else, literally click on it and add it right into whatever you're creating. Last up, on the very bottom of your left-hand sidebar, you're going to see apps here. This is where we have ever kind of like updating new apps. So if you want to scroll over on your deck to page 21, that's where I have a demo for you to try the Translate app. So again, select apps. In the search bar, I'm just typing in Translate and then I hit enter. And then I'll hit the gray translate button. You have over 100 different languages you can translate your Canva text into. You can translate a whole page or just a little snippet. You can translate your whole document or just one page. Keep in mind though, you only have 500 translate uses per month, and a page is a use. The other thing is on the settings tab, you can reduce the font size to fit. This is new. So in the past, when you translated, you would have to manually go back and like shrink some of the text boxes. Now Canva will do that automatically for you when you select that setting. So you can see here, this is translated into Spanish. On the English page, this text is size 49. But on the Spanish page, in order for it to still fit within that rectangle, it automatically reduced to size 40. And last but not least, I know we're like at time. The last one I want to show you, I need to change this slide, so I apologize. It's now called Magic Media. So you go to apps, you might have to clear it out, type in Magic Media. It's this purple one, and now you can have Canva create from text to images. So a family of birds who found a lost mitten in the woods. Oops. And then I'll select my style of art, as aspect ratio, and then Canva will generate that for you. You also now can do text to videos, which literally launched for me last week. So I'm curious if anybody's already played with that. These are fascinating. I don't know if y'all can see these. I know it's small on my screen. But I've got my family of birds that found a lost mitten in the woods. I don't know if this is lost because it's on somebody. So I have some questions here, but just wanted to show you all Magic Media and I encourage you kind of to play and create there. I know we are at time and I really want to make sure you all have time to do the time card workflow process. So thank you all so much for being here. And again, Jennifer and Tina, thank you so much for your willingness to help with the tech backend to make this hopefully a little bit smoother this evening. All right, y'all. Well, with a couple more minutes, there are some really just so cool apps. So if you're ever looking to create an awesome QR code, check this out. So again, apps, all I'm doing is typing in QR. There's tons of really cool QR codes. Technically the directions are on slide 23, but you can do this anywhere. Remember, this is your deck to play and create. But there is a QR code made out of AI created art. So you could literally have the app create a QR code in like whatever your school mascot is. This one though is my favorite. It's called Dynamic QR Code. It's a white background with kind of like a blue circle. You can kind of choose your layout here. So square versus circle QR codes. You'll just put in the URL, then you can put your school's exact hex code colors here. I'm just going to pretend that these are the exact ones. And then this is my favorite. You can upload your school's logo. So let me bring in the Canva logo real quick. And then you can choose the pattern. So like square, diamonds, triangles, and then add to design. And I know this is like so nerdy, but like when things are color coordinated and like matches your school hex code colors and your school logo, like it just draws in that audience to want to scan the QR code rather than just some like dull, like generic black and white QR code. So wanted to show you all that.
Amy, I don't want to, you saw the question in the chat. Can you show us how to change the background on the video you recorded again?
Yes. Thank you. Okay, so let me go back. I'm just going to open a blank slide so this is a little bit easier for you all to see. Let me change this to white. I'm going to pick up this video, hopefully. There we go. And bring it over here. So say this is me kind of introducing us to like that new unit I was talking about, like about jungles, right? Or the rainforest. So I've recorded myself. Again, you find the record in your uploads, record yourself, and that's where you're going to go into the recording studio. Then once Canva spits it out, you can detach it from that frame, click on it, edit video, and remove that background. And then all I'm going to do is now find something I want to replace the background with. So let me do a rainforest. Just pretend my video I recorded talked about our unit on the rainforest. And you all know how to do this already. You can right click or come up here on the floating toolbar, set image as background. And now I'm welcoming my students into this like unit on the rainforest or whatever it may be. Now remember, I could move myself around, I could flip myself, and I could still have my captions show up as students are watching the video. Hi students, again, just pretend it was on rainforest. I know I was talking about uploads earlier. If our generated captions are incorrect, can we edit them? Summer, I hear you. Unfortunately, right now, they're auto-generated, and there's two things. There's no way to edit them, and there's no way to translate them yet. But I'm really hoping, because this is like a huge ask by a ton of the districts that we support, to be able to have that in the future. So I'm really hoping maybe when we meet together again sometime in the next couple of months, I'll be able to give you a different answer to that. I do want to point out that when you all go to, oh goodness, and I know that we're just about to transition into the time card, so I promise I'll be quick. But when you go to this landing page that I made for your district with all the Canva resources, if you'd be willing, Summer, at the very bottom is this Canva product feedback. So that's how we continue to make our product better and iterate. But our product team needs to know what you all want. So I embedded the link right here. So if you're ever like, oh, I wish Canva did this, just scroll down to the bottom of this page. It's just a super quick Google form, but it goes directly to the Canva for Education product team who can make that user experience for all of our teachers better. Okay, Holly, I see your question. Are there limits to the recordings you can do? So there are limits. It's mostly size based. And I don't know what they are off the top of my head, but I'm gonna put that answer in the Google sheet that is the hyperlinked. And so please feel free. I just personally need to look it up. I don't have the numbers memorized, but I'll put the answer into that linked Google sheet for you if you look maybe like tomorrow.